Hey there everybody. So what we're going to talk about in this video is our ratios and proportions. What is a ratio? What is a proportion? And we're going to talk about solving a proportion. So what is a ratio? Simply put, a ratio is a comparison between two quantities. So we can say we normally pronounce it A to B. We can write it as a ratio with a colon, A to B, or we can even write it as a fraction, A over B. So like if I wanted to compare the values of 4 to 5, all right, that's a ratio. So like 4 cars to 5 violins, 4 dogs to 5 cats, 4 teachers to 5 aides, 4 teachers to 5 students, whatever, 4 to 5. We could also write that as the ratio 4 to 5, and then we could of course write it as a fraction, and this is how we're mostly going to write it, 4 over 5. All of those are saying the same thing. All of those are ratios. So it's just a comparison between two numbers. And what we're going to do with comparisons, these ratios, these comparisons, is we're going to make what's called a proportion. A proportion is an equation that states two ratios are equal. So we're going to say one fraction equals another fraction. So A over B equals C over D. One ratio, one comparison, one ratio equals another comparison. And the reason this works is because they both reduce to the same fraction. So I could say 2 over 3 equals 2 to 3. So 2 of something to 3 of something would be the same as 6 to 9. Because both of those fractions reduce to the same value. Let me make my 3 a little better. So 2 to 3 is the same as 6 to 9 because they're the same fraction. 6 to 9 reduces to 2 to 3. Wait, does it? Yeah. Dividing both by 3. I'm sorry, I just had a quick little senior moment. And then how are we going to solve our proportions? A lot of times you've heard the words cross multiply. This is when we're going to cross multiply and solve. So we're going to cross multiply and we're going to make our equations with two products. Where students mess up is they cross multiply and then they write their products as a fraction. We're not going to do that. We're going to write it as an equation. And when I say cross multiply, what I mean is I'm going to take the top of one fraction and I'm going to multiply it by the bottom of the other fraction. And then I'm going to do top times bottom going the other way. So what we end up with is we're going to get a blue answer. We're going to get a blue product, and that is going to equal my green product. Boom, let me highlight that in green. Boom, there we go. So when we multiply the blue, we're going to do 7 times x. 7 times x is 7x. 4 times 5 gives me 20. And then we would solve that using inverse operations. I need to get that x by itself, so what I would do is I would divide both sides by 7. So then we would end up with x equals 20 over 7. And so that would be my proportion. 20 over 7 over 5 equals 4 over 7. All right, so Patriots, if you have any questions about setting up ratios and proportions, that brings us to the end of this video. Remember, so if you got those questions, ask your teacher. We'll be glad to help you. And Patriots, we will see you when we see you, and we wish you the best.